For over 200 years, the Colonial Inn has stood in what is now downtown Hillsborough, North Carolina. As one of the oldest inns in North Carolina, it was built before there was much else around but a dirt road. As the Hillsborough community grew up around it, the inn remained an important landmark as it offered travelers a place to stay while passing through Hillsborough. However, until recently, that white two-story building was allowed to fall into degradation. The wood has given way to rot, the bricks were settled and cracked, the floors creaked, and the roof leaked. So over time, the Hillsborough Colonial Inn became less of a landmark and more of an eyesore. Thankfully today, holding together all of that old wood and crumbling brick is a vision, a belief that the Hillsborough Colonial Inn can transition from a collapsing monument of Hillsborough's past to a thriving community center of Hillsborough's future. Through the hard work of everyone involved, the Colonial Inn has been slowly coming back to life, and the vision behind it is gradually becoming a reality. That reality has sadly been put on hold, and the concept of community is being put to the test. When COVID-19 broke into America, my time with the Colonial Inn in the Hillsborough community was cut short as I was rerouted back to my hometown in Lexington, North Carolina. Having to unexpectedly move back into my home was a stressful process of packing and unpacking and then repacking. Then after the move, living in my own home came with other challenges. For a time, home did not exactly feel like home. My parents, my older brother Sam, my dog Gabby, and I were all living together again for the first time in 6 years. We could not try to go back and live the way we did when my brother and I were still teenagers, because eventually we added my brother's fiancée Danielle to our group as well. All of us in one house were crowded, loud, and frustrating for a time, but we also had a lot of fun as we eventually learned how to live together. It seemed that trading out the hammers and nails at the inn for the comforts of home would feel like a nice extended staycation. Instead, comfort gave way to weariness, and my staycation began to feel more like a life sentence. The days seemed to be strung together by a never-ending thread of dull activities used to pass the time. During this time, I found myself thinking back to the Colonial Inn and its vision of giving the Hillsborough community a new venue to enjoy together. The concept of community seemed so strange now. It had become both a danger and a necessity in our day-to-day lives. Social interaction was a threat to our health, but having a support system around us was vital to figuring out this time of our life. My family created community through TV shows and movie nights, which have to be routinely paused for discussion and debate. We created community through quarantine playlists, which allowed my parents to educate us kiddos on what real music sounds like. We even created community through ruthlessly competitive card games, which are never complete until everyone throws down their cards in frustration, while Dad smirks in the way only a winner can. I am so grateful for the community my family has given me in this time, but in truth, the community I'm really craving is the one I left behind. As a member of the Duke Swim and Dive team, my teammates are my community and my family. Throughout quarantine, every movie at home has reminded me of a movie night in the dorm room. Every high-stakes card game has reminded me of a close race in the pool. And every fit of laughter has reminded me of the silly things my teammates do that only a college student could find funny. Not being with my team and my community has been the biggest challenge. Likewise, I know the Hillsborough community must be struggling, and I imagine the people at the Colonial Inn are eager to bring everyone together as soon as doors can open. It's interesting how the concept of community is being tested in these times. We are not just learning about the value of community, but also its diversity and its resilience. Community can gather in a dorm room or through a Zoom call. It can be felt at the dinner table or at a construction site, and it can grow in a suburban home or a 200-year-old inn. Between my time at the Colonial Inn and my time in quarantine, this semester has been a reminder of the strength that community has in a time when community is desperately needed.